now. We the talk around town. Alex threw the ball to Smokey for a touchdown. It's fourth down and you don't really want no more. We've been winning from the door. You should check the scoreboard. Check the scoreboard.
Welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard Week 2 predictions. We got it going today. Smokey, Falcons fan, how are you doing?
Not good. I'm not good at all. It is a horrible day when you realize that the Falcons are worse than the Texans. The Texans have Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback. We are worse than the Texans. We would probably lose to the Jaguars right now. Now, it does lessen the blow a little bit that I knew this was going to happen. I knew they were going to be bad. It was obvious from the beginning. But still, you still got some kind of hope in there, and all that hope was just kicked right out the window. It's not happening this year.
It happened right in week 1. That's rough.
Yeah.
Seeing that, it just leaves you no expectations.
Exactly.
For the rest of the season.
Texans fans have a lot more hope than we do right at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I would think so. Yeah. It is a tough week, but let's talk about, of course, before we get into predictions, address the biggest controversy, the one that the entire NFL world has been talking about since last Sunday, the fact that there's clearly a conspiracy going on against me, involving the bet that we made last week, but when I said the Niners would win by 15 points, you do not lead by over 30 points in the fourth quarter, then give up 3 touchdowns in garbage time and 2-point conversions to Jared Goff and the Lions, just so you can still win the game, but not by 15 points, so I lose the bet. I will say this, I won that bet in spirit. I was right. It was the correct decision to make the bet. I might not have won by the numbers, but that doesn't matter to me. To me, I still stand behind the bet. It was still the correct bet to make, because the Niners are more than 15 points better than the Lions as a team. And if they don't start the whole backup defense early in the fourth quarter, that never happens.
Yeah, I was watching that game and I was like, well, I guess he won that one. Mm-hmm. But then, the end of the game comes on and I'm like, oh no. There was a chance where I thought maybe they could even tie this thing up and go to overtime.
The last drive they scored 2-point conversion, it's tied. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's what the last drive is when they brought the first team defense back on and they made the stop. But giving up 3 before that and the onside kick as well, I should have mentioned. Mm-hmm. Man.
Here's the thing. Rough. Jared Goff knows how to score on the 49ers. He does it. Yes, it was maybe you could call it garbage time, but he knows how to do that. The only problem is he's on a much worse team now, so obviously the Lions aren't going to be any good, even with Jared Goff, because he's worse than Matt Stafford.
You know that he's 3-6 against the Niners though in his career.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, not in the past year. Didn't you guys lose twice to them last year?
I don't think so. Last year maybe, with you before that we won twice. So and then even when the Niners were bad and the Rams were good, 3 years ago, the Rams were the one team we beat. It's the exact opposite. The exact opposite. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's recency bias. I just have this.
He knows how to lose.
Recollection of Jared Goff beating the Niners. I don't know.
He's got a losing record against them. Not even a big deal. Let's get into this week's predictions here. Got the first interdivisional game here. Giants at the Washington, the footballs.
Yeah, the footballs. Look, the Giants, you can see it. You can see it in Jared Goff. He has it in him. It's just maybe the team. He doesn't have an O-line for worth anything. It could be so much better. But if you watch that game, you that's the what did I say? Did I say Jared Goff? That's the Daniel Jones. Yeah. That's the Daniel Jones that I'm looking for. You can see it half of the game, and then at some point he just loses it. The fumble, or he trips and falls on a run, whatever happens. But the guy has it in him. He just has to get it together. Washington didn't look good in their debut either. And now that Fitz Magic is out for God knows how long, this team is going to be worse. It's not like they were going to be great from the beginning. It's Fitzpatrick. Come on, guys. I'm going with my Giants to win this one on the road.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, listen, Ryan Fitzpatrick, there's a big range there, right? He could be the MVP for a couple weeks. But of course, him being out now with the hip injury, Taylor Heineke, I believe, is going to be the next man up there.
Yes.
Not looking too great, but they were going to rely on defense no matter what. Giants, I mean, still kind of lukewarm, cold-ish on the Giants. I don't believe anyone really needs to win this division, to be honest. Like, maybe the Eagles are good, but they can't really tell. Bit early for that. I'm gonna pick Washington though. I want to be the contrarian. I think this is gonna be a defensive thing. It feels like the kind of game where Daniel Jones gets shut down and has a bad game, 10 points maybe, but by the pass rush, because the pass rush is for real. That's the one thing for Washington you gotta say. The pass defense, the pass rush is for real. That's something that Daniel Jones, we know, can struggle with. Doesn't necessarily have the best offensive line, and Washington just have to put it together on offense, score 2 to 3 touchdowns, and I believe they're going to win with that. It's going to be a low-scoring game, but I will take the Giants to lose another one. Patriots at the Jets.
You know, it's a great week whenever you look at the Patriots and go, they have not won this whole season. Unfortunately, I think that's going to end right here because Mac Jones, yes. Oh, okay, so everybody thinks he's just going to be the greatest. I personally don't. But he did look decent. He looks mediocre, I would say. And that's what the Patriots need to win, is a mediocre quarterback. Because you give them the flashy quarterback and they lose. You give them the mediocre guy that can just manage the game a little bit, they win. The Jets, they still haven't warmed up yet. First-year quarterbacks on both sides. They're both going to take a while to get going. I'm going to stick with the Patriots to take it on the road.
Man, you know what? That straw man that you just put up, I'm not having any of it. No one's talking about Mac Jones like he's the greatest. You're making that stuff up. I am. Yeah, but I'm in the minority. No one likes Mac Jones. They're all like, oh, he's bad. He can't run. Doesn't fit the... He's getting the exact same treatment that Tom Brady got when he came out, because he looks like him and he plays like him and he's on the same team. Yeah. What happened to Tom Brady 20 years later? I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to Mac Jones. I like him. Yeah, I do like him. And I'm in the minority with that. Now, someone I also really like is Zach Wilson. God, he's talented. He's really, really good. Like, he's like good. But the Jets are not necessarily the best team. They're deep in a rebuild. I think they have the guy to build around. Said that with Sam Darnold as well, but they've bought themselves a couple more years to maybe do it this time. He's a phenomenal passer. He's got the mobility, and he throws like Aaron Rodgers. He's like I'd say top 5 passing talent in the league right now after just 1 week. But the team isn't there, and his experience isn't. I'll take the sure pick as well. Patriots. I think Mac Jones. He's every bit of what they need to be successful. They might as well have won that game against Miami. It was a close one. So I'll take the Patriots as well. Broncos at the Jaguars.
Yeah, obviously one of these teams is better than I thought they would be, and one of them is worse than I thought they would be. However, again, another first-year quarterback. We have a lot of those this season. The Broncos are better. The Broncos are mediocre also. They're the Mac Jones. They're the Mac Jones of teams. They are just mediocre right down the line. And they have Teddy Bridgewater, who is, for all intents and purposes, a game manager quarterback. There's nothing flashy about him. He's the Kirk Cousins that was before Kirk Cousins, you know? I'm going to take the Broncos to win this one on the road because I think the Jags are really bad and they may have another season. I do think Trevor Lawrence gets warmed up at some point, but I think this is going to be another under 8-win season.
I'm going to propose the new concept of the Bridgewater line. You know the Dalton line? You've had the Dalton line for many years. This is the Bridgewater line. Andy Dalton, he's going to kind of on his way out. He's going to retire one day. And you got the young guy in Chicago. We need a new symbol of mediocrity. Teddy Bridgewater, I think, is just the perfect guy for it. There's nothing better than that. Some evil people might dare to suggest the Sam Darnold line. I'm not buying into that. I think he's...
Or the Derek Carr line.
The Derek Carr line. The Derek Carr line is a bit more appropriate to me. But I like the Bridgewater line. Just feels good. But That being said, look for the Jaguars to turn things around and win this game. I think they get rolling. I think they had a tough start, no doubt. They didn't play well. I think Trevor Lawrence gets it together. He's got that kind of talent, and you still have a very underrated offense. Like I said, I'm basically repeating what I said last week, so I won't go into it again. But talented offense, young offense, they've got to get it together. This is the game to do it, and Jaguars to win. Bills at Dolphins.
One more thing about the Jags, you're forgetting they have Urban Meyer as a coach.
They do have Urban, but so he also gets
that might be the the X factor there. Man, this is going to be an interesting game here. The Bills underperformed, and the Dolphins, well, the Dolphins performed probably exactly how I expected. I expected them to win the game, but not by any flashy means, and that was really less than flashy. Although Tua looks better. He looks better than he did last season, and I kind of predicted that, and I'm happy to see it. But the Bills should be better than what they performed at last week. They really should be. The Steelers, I predicted them to be good, so I'm not going to hate on it too much, but I'm torn between, do the Bills get rolling? Do they get back to where they were? Or are the Dolphins going to continue to improve? I'm going to go with the Dolphins at home because I'm torn, and I'm going to give 3 points to the Dolphins.
Wow, okay. I'll go with the Bills. You're picking Bills to go 0-2 with the basically like one of the MVP favorites. That doesn't seem kind of
regression, man.
Yeah, true. It doesn't seem in character, but I'll take the Bills. I believe in them to win. It's going to be a close one, high quality game too. I will add to that quick challenge to the folks listening to this. Rank all 4 of these teams in this division by quality of their starting quarterback 3 years from now. Give your projections, and you can do it as well if you want to, because that's a toughie. Now, before we go into the next game, I'll just because we forgot at the start of the broadcast, I have to ask, what's the standings like from last week?
Oh yeah, not good. I mean, it's a little better for you than me.
That is good
because you actually won all 3 of the ones we disagreed on.
Nice.
But overall, it's 6-9,
man,
which
that's
we tend to do better than that. But it's week 1.
Yeah, we'll blame it on week 1. But 3 solid 3 games ahead. I will take that. I will certainly will, and I probably could go into some like the games we disagreed on. Yeah, you picked the Lions, right?
Yeah, that was just for giggles, and I almost got you. Almost.
Because Jared Goff knows how to beat the Niners. Yeah, right. Speaking of Niners, they are playing at Philadelphia this week.
Yeah, and I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to say that. Jalen Hurts knows how to beat the 49ers because he really doesn't, but he does know how to beat the Falcons, and that makes me mad. Jalen Hurts looked like kind of like a Lamar Jackson in that maybe a little less than Lamar. I mean, he does have the rushing ability. This guy is a running back that converted to quarterback sometime before college, or I wonder if Saban actually converted him, or I think it was. I think
he was like he played quarterback from the start. I think he played a lot of quarterback, and he transferred then to like when Tua came up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it was in high school when he went from running back to quarterback. But 49ers, they're a great team. I hate to admit that to you, but they are. And Shanahan's got this team rolling. Don't know why he's doing the flip-flop quarterback. That never works out for the Bulldogs, so he should talk to Kirby Smart about how that works out for him. But go with the 49ers on the road. They should easily beat the Eagles.
I'll say this one thing, that quarterback flip-flop, when you talk about that, needs to stop and fast. I have no idea why he did that. It had no effect whatsoever. It was like you bring Trey Lance out, and then you like run like an RPO or quarterback draw and just get him sacked every time. Because like by the 3rd time, everyone knew what was happening.
I'm telling you, Kirby Smart did that exact same thing with quarterbacks who were similar. We had Jake Fromm as the starting quarterback, and we had Justin Fields as the backup, and he was doing the exact same thing. Watching that game, I was like, this is so familiar. That doesn't work. It didn't work for Kirby. Maybe you can make it work in the pros. I don't know, but it didn't work in college, so I wouldn't be trying it in the pros.
It doesn't work, and also it doesn't help Trey Lance at all, because that's not how quarterback play is. Like, you bring him as like a wildcat running back. That's not how NFL quarterback play works. It doesn't help him at all.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't help Jimmy develop a rhythm in the offense. Forget about it. Jimmy Garoppolo starts. he's gonna break all his bones anyway by week 5, and you can bring Trey Lance in. Stop with the flip flop. Makes absolutely no sense. You better not do this against like tougher opponents later in the year. I hope this stops immediately. That being said, now Eagles impressive win, Niners also impressive win. Still, of course, conspiracy. I should have won that bet, but I didn't because second team defense. They're not gonna make that mistake again. Time to sign some cornerbacks, by the way, because it's kind of getting thin there in the secondary already again, which is not good. And of course, Raheem Mostert. Right? What would the Niners be without injuries? He's on IR, gonna miss probably 8 weeks. The entirety of the 49ers running back squad consists of 2 rookies and 1 second-year guy, and they share about 60 professional football carries between all of them. That's not good, but Kyle Shanahan can work wonders with running backs, we know that. So I will take the Niners to win the game as well. I think they should be a better team. Just look at the divisions. I mean, this might be the best division and the worst division in football. They're facing off, so Niners should represent the NFC West and just win the game. I really strongly believe they have to, because this division is so strong. You can't leave a game like that. I can't come back with 1-1, so they have to win. Rams at Colts.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, I'm looking through here. I think I have all of that division to win again, and they all did it in the week 1. The Colts, I think the Colts are going to get better as the season progresses. You know, Carson Wentz didn't have that much practice time this offseason dealing with the injuries, and he was just approved to play right before the game, not more than a day or so before the game. So I think Carson Wentz and the Colts are going to warm up and get better throughout the season. But the Rams have Matt Stafford, and Matt Stafford looks like the quarterback that he should have been his entire career. He should have been up there with the greats. You know, I can't say Peyton Manning or maybe not Aaron Rodgers, but he's up there. You know, he should have been his whole career, and the Lions are what was holding him back. Now he is on a team where he can be that great, and I think the Rams take this one on the road.
He should have had a less one-sided rivalry with Aaron Rodgers. Like, he wasn't going to be Aaron Rodgers, but it should have been closer, at least. That's what I'd say. I mean, I'm going to agree with you with this one. Rams are going to win the game. Colts are going to let me down 2 weeks in a row. They're supposed to beat Seattle. They did not. They're supposed to beat LA. I don't think they will because Matthew Stafford looks good. So not much to say. I think they're going to win. The Raiders at the Steelers.
The 1-0 Raiders.
The 1-0 Raiders.
Yeah, beat the Ravens.
It had to start off with a 1 somewhere.
Of course. Didn't they do that last season? Actually, they went on a little win streak at the beginning of last season. And you kept touting that they were going to end up 8-8, and they did.
They did.
But the Raiders are going to fall off at some point. They may still have their little run at the beginning of the season, but they're not going to win this one. The Steelers are looking above mediocre. They look great. I mean, compared to what they were at the end of last season. Yeah, they went on that huge win streak for 14 games last season, but then they fell off. They were horrible. That's why they got shut out, or not necessarily shut out, but they got beat down by the Browns in the playoffs. And they were not looking good. But they do look right now, as of one game, like the Steelers they should be. And I think the Steelers are going to take this one at home over the Raiders. You know, I'm tempted to predict a tie game here, right? Because the season plan for the Raiders already contains a tie game because they have to go 8-1. That's the balance of the universe. It has to happen. That early in the season, though, and they just went over it. It could have happened, by the way. It was about to happen last night. And if they actually started off with a tie game, I would have declared myself prophet, like for real, because that would have that would have been a sign. But it didn't quite happen. But it will happen later on this year because they're going 8-1. This one, I'll take the Steelers. Just they're at home. I'm not super convinced by either of them. Probably more impressive win, I have to say, for the Raiders. Though not necessarily super deserved after they blew it on the goal line there in overtime. Still came back with a good defensive stand. Made it happen, but I'll take the Steelers to win at home. Probably more solid, more experienced team, but mostly a gut feeling. Bengals at the Bears. I'm coming around to Joe Burrow. I really didn't think he could actually show up in the pros and do what he was touted to do. Being the Heisman winner, everybody expects him to just automatically be Andrew Luck when he shows up. But I really didn't see it. I didn't see it all the way up until now. I'm like, okay, so if this kid can come back from that injury and that style and actually play up to the professional level and excel, I think he may have it. He may just have it. I mean, it's still yet to be determined, but we will see. The Bears, as long as they are under Matt Nagy and Andy Dalton's a quarterback, they're going to lose. I'm picking the Bengals to win on the road.
Looks like the Bears also kind of flip-flopping there with Justin Fields, but Joe Burrow is better than both of Bears quarterbacks at the moment. At the moment, you take Burrow over Fields right now, would you not?
Right now, yes.
Yeah, so like future, I don't know, but they're both very promising, of course, but I will definitely take Joe Burrow. I like the style more. Bengals, I mean, impressive win. Continue like that. When he was touted as one of the greats last year, season cut short, but he had some flashes, and I think he'll come back, and the Bengals might be for real. We'll see, but they should beat the Bears. Houston Texans, the undefeated Houston Texans at the winless Cleveland Browns.
Yes, the winless Cleveland Browns. And we're used to seeing that over the years. But everybody has them going to the Super Bowl this year. So, albeit to me to just say, no, they're going to come in last in that division. Right now, they're last in that division. So, I'll take a bow right now just in case it doesn't happen later. The Texans, how are they that good? That's all I can say. They have they have old guys. That's what they have. They have a bunch of old guys and no Deshaun Watson. They should not win a single game, but they actually looked great in that game. It makes no sense, but all three of their running backs scored touchdowns, which is crazy to me because every running back on that team was declared washed up at some time. That makes it tough. I'm going to just say the Browns are going to win this one at home because it doesn't make sense for the Texans to win here. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do somehow.
It really doesn't. And this is like the thing about it. Are they good? I don't know. Could it have been a fluke? Maybe. They won in impressive fashion against all odds. Like if you look 2 years in the past, the average person, maybe even an NFL fan, you ask them name like all the players on the Texans, they'd name 3 guys and you know exactly who those are, and they're all gone now. The 2 of them are in Arizona and 1 isn't playing, and all of a sudden the Texans are winning. Like they look better than they have all season the last 2 years. I don't know, maybe some culture change, coaching change, but it doesn't make sense for them to be favored. I don't think they should be favored. Cleveland's a better team and the Browns should win this game, and if not, we have problems. We have a lot of problems in Cleveland if they lose this game, and the Texans might have to be reevaluated. But I'm going to take the Browns as well. Saints at the Panthers.
Here, another shocker. Who expected that? Who expected the Saints to just blow them out of the water like that? The Packers. Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. The MVP. Mm-hmm. That was horrible. It looked like Jameis should have been the MVP. Like, it just made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Worse than the Texans win. Like, this absolutely made no sense. But Jameis looks like he may have figured it out. Maybe it was the LASIK surgery. Maybe he can see downfield now, whereas he couldn't. He couldn't tell the difference between his colors before, so he was throwing to cornerbacks instead of wide receivers. Who knows? But he looks legit right now. The Panthers don't look bad. I like Sam Darnold. But Jameis probably has the edge right now as far as quarterbacks go. I'm going to pick the Saints on the road.
Man, Jameis as the MVP is an interesting thought. If this
That's
happens like
possible
two or three weeks in a row, that's what the conversation is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of actually legitimate MVPs, though, Aaron Rodgers is not the first time he's been playing with 10 traffic cones around him, or rather 9 traffic cones and Davante Adams. It didn't seem to me like he really has any motivation. Like, we knew he doesn't want to be on this team. Like, we know he doesn't want to play there, and he has every right to not want to play there because there've been as close as it gets to actively sabotaging him for the better part of a decade now. So he's going to wait out this year, and he's going to go probably like by the deadline. He's going to either go to Washington or Denver, or at least try and make a move to go to one of those places. He's going to want out. He's going to want out there, and I don't think he cares much about really getting to the playoffs this year. At least judging from what he did, because he didn't it was very clear that he did not play at 100%. I don't know if there's some injury there or if he's just disinterested. And of course, if he doesn't, then it's the worst team in the league, because he's the only thing they have that makes him an NFL quality roster. So I have some concerns in that direction. Now, for this one, listen, I have to stand my ground here. Give me Sam Darnold to win this game. This is the breakout game. You beat the Jets, yeah, okay. It's cool. You beat the Jets. You got your revenge. It's all fine and good. Saints coming off this huge win. Jameis Winston looks to be on fire. Looks better than Drew Brees has in years somehow as a starter for the Saints taking over there. This is the time you establish yourselves as the division favorite and division leader. Panthers to win at home against the Saints. That's my bold pick of the week, I guess. Vikings at Cardinals.
Interesting game here. Cardinals, my post-hype sleepers, and they proved it in week 1. Now, I actually, right before the first game of the season, I actually heard Cardinals fans saying they don't understand what Cliff Kingsbury is doing. Why is he running this stale offense? It's not going to work. And then they come and blow them out. Cardinals are the post-type sleepers. They're the Browns of this season for me. I got to take them at home, especially in this game, whereas the Vikings look stale themselves. They're not bad, and Kirk Cousins is not bad. He's right there with the mediocre line. Who were we talking about earlier? Oh, the Teddy Bridgewater line. That's Kirk Cousins too.
Fits in there.
Those
I think
guys
it's a bit better.
Yeah.
It's probably a bit above.
I give you that. But I'm going to take the Cardinals to keep winning on the road, and that whole division is probably going to keep winning for now.
Yeah, for sure. Same situation as said with the Niners. Like if you're in this division, you can't afford to lose a game like this. Every single team in the NFC West has to win basically everything out of their own division, and this is one of those. You cannot lose to the Vikings if you want to compete in that division. So Cardinals absolutely have to win. Expect the NFC West to go 8-0 before they start clashing next week with some really, really good games. So Cardinals take it. Falcons at Bucks, impending doom.
I don't want to watch this game.
You want to skip this one?
Yeah. I'm going to pick Tom Brady to win. Boo. Boo. Get it out of my system.
Here's the good news. Okay, yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Talk yourself into picking the Falcons.
No. I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. The team is just too bad. Falcons may be a candidate for the 0-6 or 0-17 now. They may be one of those Lions, Browns types teams this year. I mean, you would hope Matt Ryan is actually good enough still to pull them out of that, and I'm sure we'll get 3 or 4 wins out of the season. But right now, they're a candidate for that.
Well, my preseason favorite for 0-16 already won a game in Houston, so that's no longer the case. Here's the good part. Okay, I'll just give you some good news because I don't hammer on this game too much longer. By the end of the game, it cannot possibly be worse than now. You can only win. There is nothing to lose at all. Mm-hmm. And I know it's a bad spot to be in week 2 to have to say this, but this is probably, I'm fairly certain, should be by far the biggest spread of this entire week. Not even close. It should be double digits on every sportsbook ever. And then high double digits. I'll take the Bucks to win, of course. It just makes sense. We're taking 1-to-1 odds here, but you can only possibly win. Any good showing is better than before. So that's the good part. You go into that with the mentality, nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. Titans at Seahawks.
Well, Titans look bad right now. We didn't expect that. I don't think anyone expected it. Seahawks, I expected them to look good, and they do look good. The Russ looks like the first half Russ that we've seen over the past couple years. Now, I remember back when Russ was only good in the second half of the season, but for the past couple years, it's the first half of the season now, and he's doing it again. They're actually seem to be letting Russ run the offense until Pete Carroll gets mad one day and he's going to say, no, we're doing nothing but running the ball for the rest of the season. And then they drop 6 losses before the end of the season. But as of right now, I got to take the Seahawks at home because of the division.
This is the one that I actually have some realistic hope that the Titans could bounce back, throw a wrench in the works here for Seattle. I don't really believe it. I'll pick Seattle to win. Coming off of the momentum of last week, I think they should win. If they had both won, going into the season, those were like similar caliber teams. In fact, I would have thought the Titans were a little bit better, actually. But with the week 1 showings, I lost some confidence there. Hope that the Titans win this. But I have to go with Seattle. Cowboys at Chargers.
Well, nobody thought the Cowboys had a shot at beating the Bucs last week, and they almost did it. Now, Dak looks like he's back. Looks like his injury, also a lot of quarterbacks coming off of injuries this year. Looks like he's ready and back and ready to play. Looks like he's going to be the comeback player of the season if he continues on the trajectory that he's on. Chargers, also, Justin Herbert in his second season looks great. I can't complain about it. But I think right now, the Cowboys have the offensive firepower to beat the Chargers.
You're taking the Cowboys?
Yes.
Wow, okay, that threw me off a little bit. I mean, wow, okay, this is going to be one of those where next week you'll be scratching your head, how do you lose more games? I'll take the Chargers, man. It's better quarterback, better coaching, better defense. What do the Cowboys have that's better than the Chargers?
The quarterback. Dak is...
What?
Come on. You're saying Justin Herbert is better than Dak. There is not a manager in the league that would take Justin Herbert over Dak.
Are we watching two different sports? There's 32 teams in the league. 31 GMs in an anonymous poll are going to take Justin Herbert over Dak. The only one who doesn't is the Cowboys one because he's trying to be nice.
No. That's not going to happen.
Justin Herbert came in as a rookie.
Yeah.
Top 5 quarterback in the league. Turned the franchise around. He's like...
So
as an MVP
Dak, right?
favorite.
They've had some poor seasons since. But Romo had that team, what was it, like 3 losses or 3 wins in a season? And then Dak takes them straight to the playoffs the very next season. Like 13-3, I think it was, in his first season.
People don't take Dak over Justin Herbert?
Yes.
I can't believe that. Nah, never. Just Dak is there's no reason to pick Dak other than he has a couple more years of experience.
You're just letting the hatred of the team blind you.
No. No.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're saying that Dak is better than Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert talent-wise is a top 5 quarterback already, what does that make?
I don't think he's going to stay there. I think maybe if he continues what he's doing for years to come, yes, I would say that. But I don't think he's going to. I mean,
I don't think you realize that Justin Herbert is the real deal. He's not just some guy. He is.
I mean, you think
real.
He's Patrick Mahomes?
I think he's a top 3 quarterback this year. I think he's gonna be in the MVP talks. Absolutely, smack bang in there. Throw him up there with Mahomes and Josh Allen. Justin Herbert's all that, and the Chargers win the game as well. That's what I'm saying.
I just don't see it yet, man.
Maybe
he will, but I don't see it.
Honestly, if you made me pick quarterbacks to start my franchise with, he's gonna be in the top 5. Absolutely, he might be top 3. He might be in the top 3. I could
probably name 10 that I want over him.
What? To start your franchise, I think for the future, I get Mahomes.
Well, not for long-term use, but I would definitely take Aaron Rodgers over him.
Okay, if we get one season, a couple seasons, I'll take Aaron Rodgers. But think to start the franchise, you signed them, now you're drafting now. I get Mahomes, and honestly, number 2, I'm flipping a coin between Justin Herbert and Josh Allen. That's where I'm at.
Josh Allen. I'll tell you this. I would probably take my chances with Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields over Herbert right now. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
Tua. Probably take my chances with Tua.
No one. Justin Herbert's real. By the end of the season, let it be on record. By the end of the season,
all right, he's going to
leave no doubt. Yeah. Justin Herbert is real, like really real. Chargers win the game. Chiefs at Ravens.
Well, that's disappointing to see what the Ravens did, especially to a team like the Raiders. But I think the Ravens are still going to be good this season. We saw them do this last year. They still made the playoffs. Lamar Jackson is still going to run as much as he ever has. They have running back issues right now. So they're just relying on Lamar Jackson to take care of the team, and that's why they're not looking as good as they could. I mean, I think Le'Veon Bell might be their number 1 or number 2 running back on the team right now. It's horrible. That's why they don't look as good as they had been. They will get it together. It will get better for them. Lamar Jackson can't push the ball downfield. Like, he's not a passing quarterback, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs because there is no reason they shouldn't win this one.
I agree. I'll take Kansas City. They look good. Held off the Browns, of course. A bit closer than it had to be, but Patrick Mahomes is probably the best player in the league right now, at least if Aaron Rodgers is not really trying. As for Lamar Jackson, I wouldn't say that he's not a passing quarterback or he can't pass. I think what we have to understand, and fans have to understand, and I think the Ravens do largely understand, is that he's a quarterback who can run, but the run for him sets up the pass, not vice versa, which we traditionally think about with those mobile, like what you think a prototypical mobile quarterback, Mahomes, maybe Rodgers, maybe Josh Allen, their passing threat, and then the zones open up, they don't spy him, and then they can exploit it on the run. For Lamar Jackson, the run sets up the pass, which is kind of a unique thing for him. Because for most other mobile quarterbacks, it's not the case. It doesn't make him any better or worse. It's not judgment at all, but that's the fact of the matter. That's how he plays.
That's going to be Jalen Hurts also.
Yeah, might be. Yeah, maybe to a lesser degrely, because I don't think he's just not that quality of player.
Yeah, I agree.
Lamar Jackson is, of course, an insanely strong, insanely good quarterback. Run sets up the pass for him. Running threat is his number 1, and they're going to have to play towards that. Not saying that doesn't say anything about his passing. It can be really good if set up right. But that being said, Chiefs might be the best team in the league, and they win the game. And Monday night, I'm curious about this. Lions and Packers.
This is weird, man. It's really weird. I don't know, because what is he doing? Like, if you really just don't want to win, then I get it. But you still want to set yourself up for a decent team next season. I think it may be one of those situations where he's not really feeling it. I mean, he didn't practice much with the team this year. He's just going to go lackadaisical through the first half of the season, and then he's going to turn it on and make the playoffs at the end of the season. He's done it before. He's done it many times before, where he just comes out and says, "All right, relax, guys. I'm gonna take care of it. We're gonna go to the playoffs." The Lions are not good. They have Jared Goff. You would be a fool to pick Jared Goff over Aaron Rodgers. But after that performance, who knows? I'm gonna stick with the Packers, just because of the don't bet against Aaron Rodgers rule. But I don't know what's gonna happen here.
Yeah, you'd have been a fool to pick Jameis Winston over Aaron Rodgers, no?
Well, yeah. It would have been smart, but nobody saw that coming.
So what is the very clear impression I get is that Aaron Rodgers, like, he doesn't try to win or try to lose. I think he doesn't care. That's what it looked like to me. It looked to me like apathy. He does not care. Now, question is, when you said he wanted to put himself in the good light with another team, he doesn't need that. Everyone knows who Aaron Rodgers is. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. He's best. He is the best quarterback, the best player of the century, perhaps of all time, if he wants to be. And every team in the league would sign him in a heartbeat, I think. But in this one, you gotta wonder if he just might that little bit of pride, because you got the Lions, are kind of considered really bad, divisional thing. They're playing at home, the whole Lambeau Field thing. You kind of gotta think if he might start to be a little bit invested in it, and if he does, they're gonna win. That's what I'm kind of banking on. If there's an apathetic Aaron Rodgers for 60 minutes, the Lions will win, because the Packers are the worst team in the league. But if he's not apathetic and he tries, then the Packers are going to win, because he's that good. That's what I'm relying on. So Packers to beat the Lions, but it all depends on number 12. All of it. The Lions have nothing to do with this game. It's all about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
that's the best way to formulate it. So that's all games. Let us know your predictions in the comments. What do you think? Also rank the AFC East quarterbacks in 3 years. Have fun doing that. I probably can't do it that easily if I think about it right now. Do you have any preview for your fantasy show for the Hurry Up Offense, Smokey?
Yeah. But the subject for this week is obviously going into week two. As with every season, you don't overreact to week one, and that's what we're going to be talking about.
Can you at some point make a topic on like how to avoid drafting players that get hurt week one? I mean, Raheem Mostert, I was like all in on him. Obviously, he hurts twice because he was supposed to have the breakout year again for the Niners, be superstar, and he's on IR, and he's probably going to miss the first 8 weeks.
Unfortunately, even in the fantasy world, there are doctors that take part in the fantasy world. We call them fantasy doctors. And they're out there. But most of them agree that there is no such thing as injury-prone players. Just players who are on strings of bad luck where they get injured over and over again. But there's no such thing that your body just is prone to injury more than anyone else. But then you look at like Raheem Mostert and Jordan Reed, remember? These guys just go down every single season. So I don't know how much stock I put into those doctors, but that's what they say.
There's gotta be such a thing as injury prone. Some people just have weaker bones, weaker ligaments than others. It has to be. And you get someone who doesn't get hurt in 20 years, and then someone who gets hurt all the time. That there has to be something like that. I don't know. But of course, I fell right into that trap. Lost my game, obviously, because Raheem Mostert scored 2 points. Now I gotta put him on reserve and pick up Elijah Mitchell. Apparently, I don't know. No one's ever heard of him before the season. If you're not a 49ers fan, but he went off, which means next week he's not going to get a carry.
Probably not.
Most likely. Who knows?
That's how it works with Shanahan.
Probably just stay away from San Francisco running backs altogether. George Kittle is the only guy you ever draft, seemingly.
Hey, Debo won me a league. Won me a game.
Yeah. Debo, he almost lost us a game when he fumbled on that third down conversion. True. But he's good at fantasy for sure. But unreliable. Maybe I'll go with a different team. But yeah, can't wait to looking forward to that. Hurry Up Offense coming up on this channel. Make sure to check that out later today or maybe tomorrow, depending on how I get to uploading it. For the fantasy heads among you, very much recommended. We are going to see you in the next week. Do you have anything to add, Smoke?
And now that's it for this week.
All right. Enjoy week 2, and we're going to see you in the next one.
Deuces.
Check the scoreboard. Ha. Check.